water the road. Ah, sing where do re oh. Fire brigade water the road. Man now a beanie when he rain.
'Fire Prevention Week is from the 6th to the 12th of October. And this morning in studio, we have with us Acting Fire Sub-Officer Jude Rogers and firefighter Lana Maria Belgrove to share a little bit more about the week, the theme, and, well, just a lot more. So good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. It's a pleasure to have you on set. Before we get into the theme this week, one of the first things that definitely struck my attention is that the data shows there's been a rise in incidents. What can we attribute this to?
Okay, so mainly we are attributing the rise in fire statistics, and let me just give an idea what the statistics are saying. For January to June 30th, we're seeing 481 residential fires. Now, I've come on this program before and I've discussed with you the fact that we're averaging around 600 fires annually, which puts us at just under 2 fires per day.
Yeah.
So to be up to 481 at the halfway point in the year, we're literally up around 3 fires per day.
Right.
So that's an increase, and that's an incremental increase that is very serious. There are many different reasons for this, and so we want to address that today, but mainly we're saying we need to do something about the fact that fires are still taking place in this modern age where we have so much technology that can avert and avoid this danger.
Now, specifically when you mention that with the technology that we have, one of the first things that does come to mind is whether or not checks and balances are in place and so much more. What would you say are some of the main contributing or main causes of an increase?
Right, so definitely electricity, which we all utilize in a positive way, can also be very negative and can have a very dangerous effect. So we're asking persons to monitor their electrical wiring. I always say to you, make sure that you have your electrical wireman come back in every 5 years and have your home recertified. If you have renovations taking place, you know, Christmas is coming, Diwali is coming up, we're going to have a lot of changes, things are cleanups and so forth. You want to ensure that you are protecting your electrical devices, your units that you're using are working well, and we're not using faulty electrical wiring, nor faulty electrical equipment.
Very important. And of course, one of the things that we can also do to protect ourselves is ensure that we have smoke alarms or detectors installed in our homes, which takes us into the theme for this week. What is the theme for this week?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having us. So the theme for Fire Prevention Week this year is smoke alarms, make them work for you.
Okay.
So the intention really is to educate the public on the importance of smoke alarms in your home, the benefits of them, how they can save lives, as well as property. So part of trying to get the statistics down is increasing the educational platform, because people need to become aware. So this morning we brought some smoke detectors for the persons who aren't familiar with them.
Right.
And we're just going to touch briefly on how they function, maintenance of them, the noises that they make, and so the different types of sounds. So smoke detectors, these are what we call single station individual smoke alarms.
Okay.
So you're putting them in your bedrooms. Each bedroom, you're placing them to the ceiling, as well as in the corridors or hallways, one in the hallway and one in each of the bedrooms. You're not using this in the kitchen. You're going to use a heat detector in the kitchen, because once you're cooking, the smoke is going to trigger the alarm.
Yes.
And when you trigger the alarm, the intention is really that you're going to hear it at night if you're asleep, because as we are aware, smoke inhalation kills you even before fire.
Right.
That's the danger.
So I'm going to press the alarm now for you to hear what it's going to sound like. It's a bit loud.
Yes.
Right.
Just a bit loud.
So the intention is it's going to alert you that something is happening.
Right.
So maintenance of your smoke alarm. You're going to hear a chirping sound.
Okay.
Like a literal chirping, like a bird tweet, 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 chirping sound, indicating that the battery needs to be changed.
Okay.
So that's how you tell the difference between the battery needing to be changed and the alarm being triggered by smoke in the environment.
What about like some smoke alarms, you just hear them incessantly just go off without stopping? What is that?
Then it means it's time to replace the smoke alarm.
Ah!
It has served its time, and it is time to replace the smoke alarm. This is
Interesting.
granted that there is no smoke in the environment and it hasn't been triggered. So it's time to replace the alarm. The average lifespan is about 10 years. Every month you're going to check the alarm. There's a test button on it, which is what I
Right.
just pressed. You're going to press that once a month just to ensure that the batteries are working and that the smoke alarm is functioning.
Okay, so you've shared this one with us, and you mentioned in the bedrooms, hallways, and then a
Yes.
heat sensor in the kitchen.
Yes.
But now I also see, Officer Rogers, we have this one here. Which is this?
All right, so as I told you, technology is advancing, and so the fire service has to keep pace with that. But not only that, we must lead the charge in educating the public about what new technologies there are to help you. And so in my hand today, I have a wireless Wi-Fi smoke detector. It's battery operated.
There we go.
Battery lasts for 5 years. But however, this has the ability to connect to the Wi-Fi in your home, and it can also connect to your phone via Bluetooth. And now you can leave your home and you can get alerts
Okay.
as to whether or not there is smoke or there's a buildup of smoke, and you can then take the necessary corrective action. So that's a little bit more advanced. I also have to speak to the persons who may have a hearing disability. Now think about it, if you have this alarm and there's the vibration mode on your phone, now persons who have hearing disability have the added advantage of having a vibration which can alert them. They will not be able to hear the sound of the alarm, but they can definitely respond to the vibration. So that gives us that added mode of operation and that added advantage. And so we're here to talk about this as well. And of course, the suppliers are our sponsors, and they are working along with the fire service to ensure that members of the public have this advantage available to them.
All right, and these would be available?
They would be available at this one in particular at IRP Fire and Safety Limited.
Okay.
And we have other sponsors who have come on board with the fire service. At the end of the day, we recognize that we have to partner.
Yes.
Right? If we don't partner with our stakeholders in our environment, we're fighting this fight alone. And we think all hands need to be on deck to win the fight against deaths by fires, which for the year already has reached the height of 10 persons.
Yeah,
10
definitely.
persons have died
10
by fire for the
persons.
year already. So we want to avoid that.
You do want to avoid it. So with a device such as this, what's the estimated cost?
All right, the estimated cost for this ranges between $200 to $300, a little bit higher than the normal smoke detector or the normal battery operated that is not Wi-Fi, which will range between 100 to 200 TT.
Okay, and I see you were ready to test it, so
I'm
let's
ready
go.
to test it, so let's go. Ready, Rockers?
Yeah, bring it. It's incoming. It's on the phone.
It come in.
It's on the phone.
Yeah. It'll go off. So this is a different technology, obviously. It's trying to connect to the Bluetooth.
Okay.
Right? So it has to be connected to my phone for it to work as well.
Okay.
All right? So even though the test didn't go off, it's really getting ready to connect
Yes.
with your phone. That's why you're seeing the Bluetooth being activated
Right.
at that point in time.
And this can be, of course, downloaded onto your phone, so no matter
Yes,
where you are, so even if you're out of the country, for example,
That's
you're
correct.
going to be able
That's
to see
correct.
exactly what is going on because it's wireless. Now, just going back to what you would have mentioned, Officer, about having a smoke alarm in your home or in your hallway or a heat sensor, how many smoke alarms do you recommend you have in your house?
So ideally, one in each of the bedrooms, and then in the corridors, as I said, you would have one. Any open areas like your living room space would also require a smoke detector, alarm, sorry. So it depends on the size of your home, right? And I want to stress, though, the smoke alarm is the first step in the early detection, but it's a marriage. It's a coupling of a relationship. So ideally, we need to have extinguishers and an evacuation plan.
So I'm glad that you brought that up because that would, of course, been my next question when it comes to fire safety. Let's speak about fire extinguishers because it's not necessarily something that you see, I guess, as the norm in people's homes. Is this something we should encourage?
Yes, it's something we are encouraging. Ideally, when you go and you're purchasing a home or you're building a home, you go to town and country, you get your necessary approvals, you're coming to Fire Prevention Administration. At this point, they indicate what type of detectors and smoke alarms you need in your home in order for you to continue and get your approvals. So we are tackling it from our end as well. But for the persons who don't have to come through Fire Prevention Admin and go through town and country, we are asking you to still purchase extinguishers for your home. If you are renting, you know, sometimes people say, this is not my home, but it is your home. It may not be your house, but it is your home. So we encourage persons to purchase extinguishers for their home. If ideally you can purchase one extinguisher, we are recommending the dry chemical or multi-purpose extinguisher, we call it.
Okay.
So it is tackling any type of fire that you could possibly have in your home environment. So smoke detector, early detection, extinguisher, you're going to be able to tackle the fire once you're trained and you know what you're doing in the incipient stage of the fire, and evacuate the premises as quickly as possible to ensure that you get to a place of safety.
Okay, so before we get to the escape plan, you mentioned being trained with a fire extinguisher.
Yes.
Are we speaking about official certified training, or I go on YouTube and I teach myself how to use a fire extinguisher?
So you can go on YouTube, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, there are videos uploaded on our Facebook and Instagram pages where you can learn how to use an extinguisher. It's a simple acronym: PASS, P, pull the pin, which is the safety pin, yes. A, aim at the base of the fire. S, squeeze the carrying and the discharge handles. And S, you're spraying in a sweeping motion. So we know that you've been exposed to some training based on what I'm seeing there. You know, so it is very, very important, and you don't have to be certified, but you have to have an understanding of what you need to do, so that in the event of an emergency, you don't panic. Because if you don't know what to do, we ask you to evacuate, which is why you need to know how to get out of the building.
Right, so we just have about under a minute left, but we do need to touch on that very important, your escape plan. What are the critical things we need to know?
Critical things in your escape plan: you must alert the other members of your home or your office. You must. It's so quickly you can do everything simultaneously. So you're raising an alarm very loudly. You could scream, shout, knock a pan, do something for people to get your attention. You're calling the fire service simultaneously as you're walking out. You're not tweeting. You're not going on Facebook Live. You're not going on Instagram. You are calling the fire service. The number is 990 for those who may not be aware. Or you could take a note of the number for the station closest to your home. Evacuate the building. Ensure you do a quick sweep on the way out for persons who may have children or elderly persons at the home, making sure everyone is out of the building. Once you get outside, you're staying outside, you're going to an area of safety where everybody could be accounted for. And when the professionals arrive, you hand over to the fire service and inform them of what is taking place.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but we appreciate the fact that both of you came to stay with us today and share with us, of course, smoke detectors and how we're going to make them work for us as well. Jude Rogers, Acting Fire Sub-Officer, and Lana Maria Belgrove, firefighter, with us this morning to share Fire Prevention Week and how you can protect your home. Stay tuned. There's more coming up on the Now Morning Show after this break.
Manawa bini we mwetire, wa bige roda di roda.